Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark show. Thanks for coming.
Katrina, good evening. Thank you for opening things up. Everybody, it's our October 30th Halloween Eve show. We've got a great lineup for you tonight. Connor from CarWars is with us tonight, along with Dennis Gingrich, our good friend from the Niello company out in Sacramento. And who's this other fellow there with the mask up in front of his face?
It's
Tully Williams.
Captain Hours.
So Tully, you and I have been like together all afternoon. We've been on a bunch of panels together.
Had a blast today, my good friend. Yeah, we're doing all kinds of crazy stuff today. Learning a lot of stuff, figuring stuff out. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I like it very much. And Dennis, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back on the show, Ted. I appreciate you inviting me, and it's always fun to talk to all the gang you bring on your show. You always round up a lot of talent, and it's always good to spend an evening with you.
Yep, we do. And we are, Katrina, just 2 weeks away from the big Avengers event, and that's coming up fast. And
Yes, it is.
by the way, we've seen all your promos out on social media lately, so great stuff there going on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I've been enjoying filming some videos and taking some pictures.
All right, so tell us, when is that big event coming up? Because it's going to be all virtual, I understand. Here we are. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, November 13th through the 16th. And there's Tully Williams over on the right, Sarah Van Tyne. Is that Ed Roberts, Tully?
It's Ed, Big Ed with the book.
Tully, that book is everywhere.
It's everywhere. I finally got mine, and he signed it for me. But here we go. Look at here, Big Ed's book. Awesome job.
Yeah, great stuff. And on the show, we're going to also have CarWars is going to be with us. Want to also tonight thank our exclusive sponsor for tonight's show, BG Products, Partner Beyond Products. So thank you for all you do for our industry. And Connor, you and I have a big segment coming up on the show in just 2 weeks.
That's right. We're super excited about it. Super excited to be here with everybody here. We're pumped. Excited to be part of this. At first, I thought I was the only guy who dressed up. Ted, you were making me feel like you got to dress up. It was in the emails. It was and I was like, I don't know what to do. So I came in as the Groot guy. I feel like I had to be. I just looked like a tree. So
okay. All right. Well, we're going to learn a little bit about what CarWars does. And Dennis, you guys work with CarWars over at Niello Company.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, we sure do. We use them obviously on the variable side, and as well Tully does on his side of the house. But it's not only is it a great tool, but just absolutely love the people that service our account. They got some of the best and brightest, and they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get to work, which is a rarity in some instances, but not with them.
Yeah, very much.
Dennis, I don't know if that's right. I mean, I know Judson. He's just a good for nothing snake oil.
Well, I don't know. So about this, I love that you said this. Right. So Judson, I refer to him as the snake oil salesman, and he did send me some of his snake oil.
Unbelievable.
Here. It's great. So I got some of that. It's supposed to be good for my hair, nails, and skin. I haven't tried it yet because Judson gave it to me. So maybe you're onto something, Connor.
Yeah. No, he knows the product. He's got a good head of hair, so we can trust him when it comes to hair products.
There you go.
Well, Connor, Katrina is a student at Northwood University. She's in the automotive management program up in Michigan. And I shared your website with her today. And I know she has some questions surrounding CarWars and, finding out more about who you guys are.
Totally. I'm just so intrigued, and I love to learn about the industry every single day. So I'm just going to start with a big, broad, basic question with what is CarWars?
That's a good question, Katrina. We get that question a lot. What the heck are you guys? Is it like we call into dealerships like, hey, I'm Connor with CarWars. They're like, Star Wars? It's like kind of, but with a car. So we're a phone solution. Managers and dealers turn to us for several reasons, both on the variable and the fixed op side. So on the variable side, a lot of times people lack the insight into CRM of what's going on the phones. They know they have good leads coming in from marketing sources. They're just not sure which sources are driving them. On the fixed op side, they know that CSI and that kind of stuff is really, customer service is really important, but they need a way to measure that. And they want to see who's calling and why they're calling. And so we actually record every single phone call in and out of the dealership. And then we put human reviews on it. We put AI on it, and we tell you exactly what happened on every single phone call. And so for sales, they get insight into all the leads, all the missed opportunities on the sales side, right? We failed to get somebody in. We lost them on inventory. And on fixed ops, it's almost the opposite. We almost want to see phone calls go down. And I totally talked a lot about this. But a lot of times when we run into dealerships and they're having problems on the phone, it's on the fixed op side. It's because we have so many people calling in for appointments or for status updates, not just appointments, right? And so, for a lot of dealers, they're drowning in this state of all they can do is react. That's all they have time for. And so they don't actually have time to be proactive. And it creates, no one wants to put their car in service. That's right. You got to call and fix. My transmission blew out last year. Right. So I had to call in, and I didn't want to do that. I know it's going to be expensive. And so I've already got my wall up. And then when I get transferred around and I go to someone's voicemail, then it's just even worse. And so we know that's something that is a struggle in for dealerships, and so we want to come in and help.
Tony Owens, I see you in the chat there. For some reason, it's not coming in, but we're getting your messages, so thank you for all you do. So, Dennis, did you bring in CarWars first, or did Tully do it? How did it start there at Niello?
Yeah, it's my fault, which I'm pleased to lay claim. But we had actually were talking internally about a phone tracking solution. We looked at a couple other providers in the market, and through that journey, which for us, when we bring a new solution on, we're probably a little slower than maybe a salesperson might like, but we ask a lot of questions, and we knew we needed something because what you can see in the CRM in terms of emails and text, and that's assuming the salespeople actually use the CRM as we want them to, which I think every dealership under the sun has that struggle in some way, shape, or form. That's part of the story, but a lot of people, and I read this statistic, and I wish I could recall where I read it, but 2 out of 3 website visits end in a phone call. So when the bulk of your customers are calling into the sales department, how they're treating those customers on the phone, that's a deal breaker. Either if you're really great, you're going to be success, or if you have a lot of room for opportunity, you definitely want to find out what that is, how much opportunity you have. And then it also provides us a good way so where we could give, one-on-one coaching to maybe some sales professionals or managers and really get the qualitative piece of the communication, because it's easy to measure anything. Anything's quantifiable in this business, but to really hear, see, and listen to the qualitative piece, CarWars was that solution for us. And, that's why we went with them.
Tully, you seem like the quiet one tonight. Go ahead.
I think that the biggest thing that Dennis said earlier on is that when we looked at, there was two big companies that Dennis was looking at, but it was the people that really was the big deal for us, I think, at the end. Wasn't that right, Dennis?
Yeah, no, it was a really big differentiator, because I have never, Ted, ever sat through a bad demo. Every demo I've ever watched is freaking awesome. It always is. But the big differentiator with anything, and our owner says that we're not in the car business, we're in the people business.
Yep.
Our team needs to like who they're working with, and then we want a partner that's like I said earlier, not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get down when we need them most. So and we felt that way with them.
Tully, it would seem to me that this is a great tool used properly, especially for coaching purposes. Tell us a little bit about that on the fixed ops side and how you use it there.
So on the fixed ops side, there's two things. One is that, the fixed ops departments usually answer the phone at an incredible 65%, right? Which is like, massively insanity. We answer the phone about 85%, which I still think is a horrible job. But what we need to know is the calls that are coming in, right? The calls that are coming in are status calls. You have a serious problem. You need to fix that on the service drive. Hire more service riders or whatever the issue is. But then we also got to look at the other calls of people are calling in asking for something to be fixed, asking, what's the price on this? And this is where CarWars kind of comes in and helps us with that piece. Is that when those calls come in, again, they're listening for the word appointment, right? Did we make that appointment? Hey, my tire is bad. Go to Goodyear. It's cheaper. Don't call us back, right? Whoa, stop right there. And that happens on a daily basis. So our goal is that we want that person listening. That would be CarWars. And are we doing a good job? The next piece is that I think, we all talked about it, is it records all the phone calls. And I think that when you have a serious problem with a CSI issue or a customer saying something that, we're saying is different, having the call recorded is a great tool for, one, training on our side if necessary, or two, so that we can more than happy play it back to the customer so he can hear his own voice or their spouse's voice saying, yes, fix it all, or no, don't fix it all. So two things for me. One, holding a customer accountable or the service advisor accountable. Two is that, are we listening for that word? Or are we asking for the appointment when a customer calls in?
Yeah, totally. Based on something you said there too, you said we're answering the phone 85% of the time. And a lot, you're using that word answered. We always in CarWars, of course we have an acronym. We're a vendor. Come on. So ours starts with C for crisp, and then the C stands for connect. And really what we see, like when you go check your phone system, what you'll see is 95 to 97% of your phone calls will be answered, meaning it got picked up by an extension. That a lot of phone systems even include voicemail on that. So it gives dealers this false confidence, like, oh, well, we're answering every single phone call. And it's just not true. And we know it's not true. But like you said, 65, 66% of calls on average in fixed ops are being connected. And what we mean by that word connect, we mean ear to ear with someone that can answer their question.
Right. 100% agree with you on that. So we are 85% talking to the customer. We rule that out. But the goal is that you're absolutely right. And think about 85% is, I think that's just a horrible number there. I think it should be like 95%. I know we're not going to get everybody. I know that people get busy. I get it. But I think that if your focus is on making sure that we communicate with the customer first, reduce phone calls.
That's right.
Reduce phone calls, right? So then those great calls come in and say, please, I want to spend money with you. You can answer those calls and have the time and the patience to answer everything that customer wants, right? And that's what we're listening to. So I think the combination of, are you monitoring your phones? Just like what you said, Connor, Going to voicemail or transfer to somebody else is not a win. That's a zero, right? 2, when we talk to the customer, are we asking for the appointment or answering the questions they need to have? So I think that is a huge deal. Huge shout out to my good friend, Sean Butler. I hope you're feeling well, my good friend.
Yeah, a lot of prayers for Sean Butler and for Sean and his family, and appreciate the Fixed Ops community rallying for Sean Butler here these past few months. And Sean, we love you. And again, our prayers with you as well. So Katrina, it would seem to me that now with all the technology we've got in our industry, it's amazing that the phones are still that important in the dealership process with the customer, especially on the service side. When the customer wants to reach out and get information, the phones are still a big part of everything. In fact, Katrina, the number one thing that we've seen at the roundtable is the phones are the top issue still at the dealership.
And I believe it. I mean, phones are convenient and fast to get a hold of people and get your point out. So it makes sense, but it's surprising that we haven't really turned away at this point still.
So here's
Dennis on the sales side, of course, right? Still.
Yeah, no, I mean, the phone is so incredibly important. I think, I know the industry, we hear all this talk about, hey, everybody wants to do everything 100% online. They don't want to talk to people. They want to put it in their cart and they want to buy and just go on with their life. I don't believe that. I think what people are tired of is people that can't communicate. And one of the best tools for communication is the phone. So I think when you can get back to that qualitative piece, training people, we can train better communicators. We get better CSI, and we all know what that means. We just either sell more hours, right, Tully?
God bless you, bro.
Sell more cars. That was for you.
But think about a phone. Think about this. Everybody carries one, right? If people were going to communicate without a phone, they'd carry a pager that could text. That's not the case. The issue is that we still need to talk. But texting is a great way to communicate and give them updates about their car, but they still want to talk to us in the morning. A lot of times they still want to talk to us at the end of the day and say, hey, how's my car doing, bro? Build that relationship, right? We want to build those relationships with our technicians and service advisors. Texting doesn't work. Email doesn't work either. Honestly, email is almost to a point where it's like a landline, right? So I think that you got to remember is, are you trying to use the phone? And I think stores are trying to get away from using the phone. And, phones have a place in the system. We've got to make sure that all of our people understand that. Communicate with the customer the way they want to be, but still, you're going to have that greeting and you're going to have that thank you with a live or a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I wasn't going to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it. I'm not from a huge town, but we've only got one Chevy store in town, right? My dad drives a Chevy truck and he needed new tires. So what does he do? He calls a Chevy store. He drives by it every day. Well, he calls the first time. The guy leaves him on hold for, 5-6 minutes. He hangs up, calls back the next day, gets transferred to voicemail, calls back the third day, same thing, got put back on hold. And now he just called the Ford store. It was like, hey, can you guys give me some freaking tires? And so now he's like the dude who takes his Chevy truck to get all his service done at a Ford dealership, which is dumb. Why does that happen? And now also, guess what? He just bought my mom a car, an expensive car. He went and bought it at another Chevy dealership out of town. And we all know the stats about, you get your car serviced somewhere, 3 more times? You're over 2 years, you're more likely to buy the car from that dealership and all that stuff. It's all about, my dad's not moving anytime soon. And there is very little chance that dealership will ever get my dad's business back. And so unless he dies and someone else moves in or he moves somewhere else, you've lost that you've lost that lifetime customer.
Totally.
So think about what he just said there. Person called 3 times. Most people would not call 3 times. Most people call once and done. But the goal is with CarWars is now that our managers, right, at store levels can look at those calls and find out when that person leaves a message, this is my 3rd time I'm trying to call you. I want to buy something from you, please. I mean, that should be like a 911 alert button, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that, if you don't record your phone calls, you'll never know that happened because, the service writer did what? Too late. or whoever deleted it because
why would they put that
tires,
in?
I don't make any money selling tires. What the hell do they sell tires for? So that's what CarWars is all about, where we can listen to those messages and then we can coach a mentor and explain to the service writer, tires are your future, my friend. That's called repeat and referral. As soon as the Goodyear store gets you your hold of your customer, ain't coming back. So we got to tell them how important every one of those phone calls are.
I think there's a big convenience in like calling on the phone versus doing stuff online too. Like this is reminding me of me calling a restaurant being like, can I make a reservation? They're like, no, you have to do it online. Okay, I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to the next store place. This is just reminding me of that.
Well, I think you're spot on. 'Cause I just like this morning on my way into work, I can't be on, I guess I could be on my phone trying to make appointments or send emails and text messages. I guess it's frowned upon for some reason. But on the 45 minutes on the way into work when traffic's bad, I'm on the phone handling some of my personal affairs because when I get to work, I'm working. I need to be working. And, I know if you make it easy for your people to call and like Connor mentioned, get ear to ear with who it is they want to talk to solve their issue and set an appointment. Why not make it easy? A phone call when answered and you don't have to go through a big old phone tree to finally like type in your account number for the guy to only, hey, what's your account number? Like, dude, I typed that in, right? I don't need to give you that again, but call the phone. Hey, I need to set an appointment. I want to come look at this, BMW X5 I found online last night at 11:30 at night because I couldn't sleep. Can I come in today at 3:00? Yes. Or, hey, can I get my appointment scheduled with Tully and his band of merry men and women on Friday because I need tires? Cool. I'll be there on Friday. And then it's done. And then the invite comes into my inbox and I'm back into my digital landscape. And I really feel like, getting your phones dialed in, finding those breakage points, which CarWars did a good job, finding out who wasn't answering the phone, what phones were ringing for what lead source, and really streamlining where everything goes to help those customers get to somebody that can help them is just a win all the way around. Because if Tully doesn't answer the phone, that they don't think of the Niello company as service and
That's
sales. Right. It's like, hey, Tully's service doesn't answer the phone. Why the hell are those guys in sales going to do any better job, or vice versa? So, one side reflects the other, whether we like it or not.
100%.
And Dennis, I recall in coming to some of your dealerships earlier this spring, okay, you got some beautiful dealerships there, very modern. And I see what you've done is Tully, in that Jaguar Land Rover store, you brought everything together, the showroom and where the service advisors, right? It's all one, okay? There's no walls. You brought it all together as, referencing the point that was just made. It's one company.
The new layout is that way, open concept. With the new Porsche store that's opening up, it's open concept. The whole goal is that it's one store. The customer can walk in, he can walk into sales can walk into service. It's all there. There's no barriers. There's no walls. All the desks are laid out. To me, that's a much, much better way. This guy here commented, it's Bruce, investing in a customer care manager. Spot on, my good friend. You know why? Because he cares about it more than anything else. And I'm telling you, that's how you make it happen, is have someone invest in it, like a BDC, is someone investing in your phones. It's like, I know that Dennis talks about phone calls and crisp every day to sales, because without the phone answering, they won't sell any cars. In service, it's even worse than that, right? They might have a customer or two coming in for sales, but we have 10 to 20 customers per person. And if we don't answer the phone, they're not going to come in. So absolutely correct. Have someone dedicated to monitor those, listen to those phone calls, make it happen. That's where CarWars helps us out a lot.
One thing I talk a lot about too is, and maybe it's a terrible reference, but I compare auto in the dealer world to a fast food restaurant. Yeah. Where no one wants to come in and buy there's a lot of anxiety when you buy a car, right? My wife, we just bought her a car and she was very anxious about it. It's a big investment and it's scary. And are you making the right decision? And service, same thing. You're ticked off. It's like, man, my car was working just fine. Now I got to dump a bunch of money in it just to keep it working. Like it's not a positive experience. Hey, same thing with fast food restaurant, right? It's like, man, I got to drive through the McDonald's. and you pull up to the speaker box and it's too loud or too quiet. You might as well order what you don't want, because whatever you order, you're not going to get it. And then Chick-fil-A comes in and it's like, Connor, it's my pleasure to serve you. And you're like, whoa, this is awesome. But your service is out of this world. And so how is that at every single location? You can go anywhere where there's a Chick-fil-A, and and if I do get the wrong order, I'm just like, man, God just wanted me to have, the spicy chicken sandwich today. Like, I just trust them that they just knew they knew better than me. So I think we have the same opportunity as dealers, where the expectation is pretty low. And when we come in and we can have that kind of concierge level service for people and communicate well, then all of a sudden we have customers for life. Mm-hmm. It feels like that's something that you guys at Niello are doing really, really well, is elevating that service, everything down to the language that's used with customers.
Dennis, I was very impressed when we went out there. Not only has Niello got 100 was it 101, 102 years, Dennis?
102, my good friend.
Yeah. But we met the Niellos, we met the family, okay? We met Rick Niello, very impressive, okay? And, the core values, Tully showed us what they were, and everyone was able to recite them. And the next thing you know, we did this pop-up event, Dennis, and we ended up with an audience in the showroom. There were chairs set up. There were people everywhere spilling out. It was like we had a studio audience. And of course, Tully was, leading the charge on that, no question, but really a very well-run organization, Dennis.
No, we appreciate that. We do try hard. I mean, one of the core values is that we have high expectations, and, something we talk about on all of our new employee orientation. That just doesn't mean we want, big numbers. Yes, we want to sell lots of hours. Yes, we want to sell lots of cars. Yes, we want to make a ton of money. But I really think the high expectations piece really speaks to more kind of the expectation we have of our teammates to engage in whatever we've got going on in the Niello company, how we engage and interact respectfully with our coworkers and taking care of the customers. Because, if we take care of one another internally and take care of those customers, I mean, the financial statement really works itself out. And I just think not just the automotive industry, but I just think the public sphere has just lost sight of what service means. People don't mind paying for a great experience, and it's up to us to give it to them. And, there's tools to help us do that. And, we just got to lean into them, and our people will all win for it.
Correct answer.
Well, Connor is leading an amazing segment at the upcoming Fixed Ops Roundtable Automotive Avengers event. You're not going to want to miss it, everybody. Some very valuable information. I learned about how to route calls properly. If you're a dealer principal, if you're a general manager, fixed ops director, variable leader in the dealership, you're going to want to tune into that segment that Connor's got going. A lot of great information, a lot of questions get answered, and it's just a power-packed 15 or 20 minutes that we've got together. And Tully and Dennis, I want to thank you for, helping, introducing CarWars to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Because Tully, it's really a good fit.
It's a great fit, and we were so honored to be on here with Connor and celebrate CarWars. Dennis is a huge champion of CarWars, and I'm telling you, I thought to myself, why do we need it in fixed? Oh, yes, we do need it in fixed, and really showing us the benefit of how it helps us every day is a huge win for us.
I think the other piece too that we haven't really touched on, and it's an extension, but when Connor's doing that piece, Ted, about getting all your calls routed to the appropriate place, really what we're doing there is we're making our employees' jobs easier, so they can focus on taking care of the customer. And I think when you partner with I know they did that with us, really leaning into their onboarding team and doing the work, because it's a lift. It's not an impossible lift, but it's well worth it. Do the work, engage, get your phones dialed in, so it's easier for your employees to do their job, and that's take care of the customers.
Amen.
Connor, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, no, Dennis, totally. Thanks for coming on and speaking the good words. I think for us and for CarWars, man, we believe we got a great product, and that's cool. That's great. There's a bunch of great products out there, but for us, it's the same thing. It's about people. It's about serving customers well. That's why we get up and get excited about going to work. Is serving people like Tully and Dennis well. And so, it's good. Hey, we have our problems just like anybody else, but for us, it's about serving you guys as dealers, and we have a big challenge ahead of us, and the interest rates, whatever you want to talk about, there's a challenge going into 2024, and we're just excited to be a partner with you guys and help you leverage the situation and do the best we can do, and ultimately win and grow and be better. So thank you guys.
Everybody, there's a lot of best practices coming up, a lot of forces happening in our industry. You want to join us at the Fixed Ops Roundtable Automotive Adventures event 2 weeks from today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, November 13th through the 16th. Starts at 9 a.m. Eastern each day. We've got over 150 speakers, 35 panels, I believe, and it is stocked full of information, powerful stuff, like some of the things you're hearing about from Connor right now, and Tully and Dennis. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Katrina Ness from Northwood University, Tully Williams and Dennis Gingrich, and Connor, very grateful to you for all you do.
Awesome. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, Ted.
Yep. We will be back, everybody, on Wednesday night. We got another great show coming up for you. Another surprise guest. I think you're going to like it very much. And everybody, we will see you soon. And don't forget, get those complimentary tickets at fixedopsroundtable.com.
Awesome.